What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jax back at it with another video. And today we have the Texans off season, and we're gonna start off with the Super Bowl. It's the Patriots versus the Buccaneers. That was my ideal Super Bowl before the Patriots got knocked out. But yeah, you guys see all the coach firings. We fired our OC at the end of the last episode, and we're gonna hire a new one here. And it's going to be this man right here, who is Thomas Peters. Thomas Peters will be our new OC. And along with that, he gives us some scout coach points. So we're gonna want to trade Deshaun Watson this episode. So we're gonna put that all into trading for some draft picks. Now we have some remaining points here, and we're going to use it on the offensive coordinator. So he now gives us the ability to turn on X factors on the offensive side of the ball. And now you see we have a remaining 20 points here. And I think we're going to use it on Coach Jack's facts. And we're probably going to use it on the line XP, because that is where we're going to want to upgrade the most. Now, the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl over the Patriots in a thrilling one. Najee Harris wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That one was a bit shocking to me. And now in the mock draft, they have us taking Neville Clark, who is a right end out of North Carolina. Clark, he's a great finesse rusher. His athleticism is off the charts. I really like Neville Clark and what he brings to the table. The rest of the mock here, it was a pretty solid mock. But here for retirement, we're only going to have one retirement, which is Danny Amendola. Big Ben retires. The rest of them aren't really shocking. I guess Emmanuel Sanders would be a bit shocking, but outside of that, the rest weren't. Now, on to re-signings. We're going to want to try and bring back Todd Gurley here. For most of these guys, if they don't want to come back, we just won't bring them back. So we give Todd Gurley a 1-year deal, about $2 million, and he declines it. He says free agency is the best option for him, but is it really? Now the next guy we're gonna go after here is Jeff Driscoll. My plan with Jeff Driscoll was to get him some snaps at tight end and quarterback in the preseason, but he also declines and says free agency is the best option for him. But in reality, it's not. Looking at these other guys, none of them intrigue me at all. Malik Collins was the only one that I really thought about. And then Kamu Grugier-Hill, that franchise tag is too much, way too much. So we're just going to let it go. Now, looking at creative prospects, we're going to be looking at Rex Stedman, the quarterback. Here, I think he's the best quarterback in this draft class. I mean, he has phenomenal arm strength that rivals Patrick Mahomes. But his only downfall is his speed. He's not agile. He's not agile at all. But he's pretty accurate, too. And then at halfback, DESHAUN King. He has blazing speed. He's so quick. And I mean, he could basically do it all. He doesn't have weaknesses besides, I guess, trucking. That would be a weakness, stiff arm. But those are like minor things. Him as a running back, I think he is the top running back in this draft class. Now at the cornerback spot is John Alexander. And I mean, Alexander is a phenomenal cornerback. He has great speed, but he cannot play man coverage at all. He's a zone cornerback, strictly a zone cornerback. And he has to go to a scheme that is going to use him in only zone. And then the next guy is Rashad Brixton. He's a cornerback here. He he's basically the opposite. He has great speed, phenomenal speed, and he's great in man coverage. His zone coverage, however, is horrible. And yeah. Now looking at the combine, Stedman, as you see, he is not fast, but you can see the elite arm strength there. And now onto running back, which is DESHAUN King. He now jumps up to be the top running back in the class. So yeah, now we're gonna take a look at his combine. And I mean, he runs a 4.24, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, this kid's just blazing fast. Like I said, if you put him up against some of the top speedsters in the league, he will match up very nicely. Now, John Alexander, his combine report actually shocked me. It said he was the second fastest cornerback. And I mean, this kid is, I think, the fastest cornerback. But his combine says otherwise. And Rashard Brixton, he actually ends up being the fastest cornerback in the class by 1 second, which is insane. Now, on to free agency. Darrell Williams, I was thinking about giving him a contract because he's such a great all-around running back, but we decided to explore some other options. Just see, like, Darrell Williams can literally do everything. But then I look down and I see Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson's the ideal for what I would want as for a running back. He doesn't have blazing speed, but he's pretty much a receiving back. If you look at it, he could catch the passes out the backfield, and he has the ability to make guys miss. Going down, you see Todd Gurley down there. If he wanted to come back, he would have came back. But then I decided to take away Justin Jackson's offer and instead to give it to Latavius Murray. I feel like we needed a veteran to come into that backfield and help us produce something in the running game. We had one of the worst rushing offenses last season, so we decided to give Latavius Murray that contract. Now, with the receivers, we definitely need to bring in someone, and the guys at the top like Devontae Adams and Odell Beckham Jr. were very enticing, but we decided to go with Isaiah McKenzie. I feel like he has the speed that we want at the receiver position, along with the catching ability. And then at tight end, we decided to give Ian Thomas a contract. Now we wanted to get an interior lineman, and I saw the Shanahan in the comic and Sue, and I couldn't decide on which one I wanted, but we would end up going with the Shanahan because he's a younger player, he has more potential, and I think him sliding inside the defensive tackle would be great for him. Now on the inside linebacker, we decided to offer Jalen Smith a contract here because he's just such a great player. I feel like we can maximize his potential, unlike Dallas. And yeah, we want to give him another shot. And then at left outside linebacker, we're going to give Keanu Neal a contract. I feel like Keanu Neal is a difference maker that we need on this defense. He's great in pass coverage. He was a converted safety to linebacker. And then look at Kamuru Hill and all the offers he was getting. Gerard Davis would be the last linebacker that we would go out there and get. That's just another signing that I feel like it's a guy that we could maximize his potential. Now at the corner spot, Desmond King is getting some offers. So I decided that it was time to move on from him, but we needed to find the right guy. Sidney Jones would be the first guy that we look at here. And I mean, if he had better speed, that would be a guy that we look at straight away and pick up. And it's the same thing with Rasul Douglas. If Rasul Douglas had the speed, he would be a guy that we look at as well. We would look at Jordan Lewis here. And I mean, he if he has this coverage ability, I think he's the guy. And then Tre'Davious Ward is literally everything that we want here. He has the speed and the coverage ability, and he's young, so we would decide on Tre'Davious Ward, and we will give him a nice 2-year contract. As you can see, we're not giving guys a ton of years on their deals. It's mainly just offering these guys small term deals because most of these guys are gonna have prove it deals. And now on to trading DeShaun Watson. We first tried to trade him to the Panthers for 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick, and they say no. And I mean, if I'm the Panthers, I'm doing this straight away. You have to be calling the Texans right now. I don't care that it's pick 4. I don't think that this draft is really stacked at the top end. It's more of a deep class. So if I'm the Panthers, I'm making this trade. But we decided to add in Max Sharpen, and we really didn't have anything that we could give them. We're not trying to trade away picks like that. And so we then move on to the Miami Dolphins. I didn't realize that they had such a low pick because I forgot that they didn't have their first rounder. So that trade was basically abandoned pretty quickly. We then tried the Giants, but we then tried the Giants, and they would also decline. And then the next team that we would try would be the Washington football team. And I mean, this was basically my last option because obviously they're my favorite team in real life, and they were the closest to getting it done. And since they're my favorite team in real life, I was trying to stay away from them, since it sort of seemed like bias with me trading Deshaun Watson to them. We added Eric Murray. They're not interested in him. Lonnie Johnson Jr. They're not interested in him. So next we look at our right tackles, and then we see what right tackles we could sort of give them. And we have Marcus Cannon, and obviously he's 34. We're trying to get rid of him. And he moves it up by a slight bit. And that's pretty crucial for us. So after that, I realized that the issue with this trade and why nobody for whatever reason wants Deshaun Watson is because of his depth trait. So I decided to check his depth trait, and he still has star development. Here, I would decide to change him to superstar depth, and the trade still is nowhere close to getting done. So my end goal here was to up Deshaun Watson's stats and his depth trait just so we could try to get this done. And we're gonna try with every single team here. And now look, we're gonna move on to the Eagles here. We're gonna try pick 15 along with their second round for this year and their first rounder for next year. And the Eagles are just not interested at all. So we're gonna up Deshaun Watson's stats and then try it with every team that we tried before. And we got a deal done, and it is to the Washington football team. They were the only team that accepted even after we upped Deshaun Watson's stats. But yeah, this trade's gonna be nice for them. We're getting 2 first-round picks, one this year, which is pick 10, one next year, which is pick 17, and their second rounder this year. Now, Taylor Heineke has number 4, and you'll see the number that they have Deshaun Watson rocking. We're going to put him back to 6, which I think he wore in college. I might be wrong. But Deshaun Watson, they have him wearing 16, and it just does not look right at all. So we're going to give him back number 4. And we're going to put his stats back to where they were. He's going to go back to star dev. And he's gonna get his accuracies back down. Throw power is gonna go back down to 93. So now in free agency, I see Kyle Allen there. And I think he could be a serviceable backup to Davis Mills, but he's just not there. He's just not what I wanted at the quarterback spot. And now the second mock draft has us taking J.J. O'Callahan. And I mean, he's a solid offensive tackle. He'll probably be the future at right tackle. But I'm still liking Neville Clark a bit more right now. And then with the newly acquired 10th pick that we have, they have us taking Shaquille Parker. And this is a guy I really think we could look into taking here with this pick, because Parker is such a great player. He's a nice route runner. And as y'all see, the first creative player that they have in a mock draft is John Alexander, going at pick 18, I believe that is, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can see this happening a lot. And John Alexander is a player that I want on our team because of his height. He is 6'7", which is absolutely insane with the speed. This guy should be playing receiver if you ask me. They have Brian Proctor going in front of other quarterbacks, and I wasn't really huge on Proctor. I don't really think he's amazing. But yeah, that's what the mock draft has. Now, in terms of new coaches that are hired, David Culley got hired as the Lions OC. We saw what happened last time the Lions hired an offensive coordinator that was a head coach before. That did not end well. But onto the draft. And with the 3rd overall pick, the Houston Texans select Neville Clark, right end, out of North Carolina. This kid is absolutely amazing. He gets to the quarterback with ease. He uses his speed off the edge to get around blockers. He's working on Laremy Tunsil here, and I think he had one of the best training camps. He just gets around him there. Can't get to the quarterback though. And on this play, just moves around the double team and gets the sack. That is just incredible. And here we go, working on Laremy Tunsil again. It's on the double team. And look, he's chasing him down. And he forces the fumble on that play. And here, he's on the edge right now. Laremy Tunsil, there's no match for him. Once again, forcing the fumble. And on this one, gets straight past him, forces the fumble again. This kid is going to be a machine. He only has normal dev, which sucks, but I think he could go up soon, especially with what I've seen. Another forced fumble for him. And we made a trade here. We're sending pick 10 for pick 16, a 2nd round pick next year, and a 4th round pick next year. And with this pick, we're selecting cornerback John Alexander out of Maryland. And John Alexander, I mean, if this kid is used properly, I think he could be one of the best cornerbacks that we have. I think he's the number 1 day 1. As you see, he's guarding Brandon Cooks here on this one. And he just uses his height to get up there. And I decided to try something out. We put him at receiver here on the punt fake. And I mean, just making that tough catch. I mean, we could see some experiments. Now with this 3rd pick in the 2nd round, the Houston Texans select defensive tackle Steven Patterson. This is another kid that just knows how to get to the quarterback. Here on this one, he makes the great tackle there on that play. And then here on this one, just jumping over the O-line, just getting the sack. Him and Neville Clark had fantastic training camps. I think Patterson will get a lot of playtime early on. This is a guy I'm excited for. Right there, just bulldozing over the guard. Now here with this pick, he just works around the guard and gets there easily. Now with the 10th pick, in the second round, the Houston Texans select quarterback Gregory Gates. This kid's going to be phenomenal. And him and Davis Mills are going to battle it out for that quarterback job. And I wanted Rex with this pick, who we'll talk about later and where he went. But we ended up getting Gregory Gates. And this kid has phenomenal arm strength. Not as good as Rex, but he has the speed. He could get out the pocket. Now, Gates, he went to Penn State, and I mean, he was okay at Penn State, but his measurables just caught the eyes of scouts. And I feel like that's why he went in the second round. You see here, Gates play action. He just looking, and you see, he just rolls out the pocket. Now, you want to see him protect himself a bit more, but that's something that he will learn with. That pass, just a nice pass there to Brandon Cooks. Gates, absolute laser over the middle of the field. And now, DESHAUN King, he will go to the Falcons. That's the only creative prospect that I actually got recorded where they went. And now we're here in the third round with our pick. And Nathan Hampton's here at right tackle. This is a kid that he looks solid, but we're going to want to explore some of our other options. But we know a lot about Nathan Hampton, and I think he's the guy here at the pick. So we will select right tackle Nathan Hampton, and he has hidden development. This kid was absolutely destroying Jonathan Greenyard. And if you don't know, Jonathan Greenyard was our literal best pass rusher last season. He got up to superstar development. And I mean, this kid was just destroying him. Like, look right here. Greenyard can't do anything against him. And then right here, just absolutely bullying. Just bullying. He is amazing. And now here in the third round again, we wanted center here with this pick, but there just wasn't anyone that we wanted. All three of the centers that we wanted literally went a couple picks before this. You look at Shannon Epard, I mean, his intangibles just aren't there. And I mean, we just didn't know enough about him to select him here with this pick. So instead, we're going to look in another direction with the position that we need a lot of help in. We don't have much depth there. We did sign someone there in the offseason, but we're going to take Justin Hyde, linebacker, here with this pick. And we only got one clip of him in training camp, as you'll see. Hyde, I mean, he's a pass rusher, but this kid has phenomenal speed off the edge. And I like this pick here. I don't know how much of an impact he'll have day one, but we'll see. Now here we're in the fourth round. We're going to address the running back spot here. And we're going to take Dante Wade, running back here, out of William and Mary. Wade is a running back that could basically do it all. He breaks tackles. As you see right there. He doesn't have breakaway speed, but I mean, he could do his thing. Wade, I mean, he's an all-around back. He could pass catch, but the worst part with him is that he doesn't have the breakaway speed like other running backs, and that's something that we're really lacking on this roster at the running back position. But you see here, if he has breakaway speed, he's gone on this play, but he's just not there. I really like this pick though. And now here into the sixth round, we're gonna have 2 6th-round picks. And I mean, Noah Brown, the punter, he's on our board right now. But do we really want to take a punter here? I don't know. I don't know if we do. But we're gonna look at some other options. And I see receiver. We don't really have depth there. And that's a position that I wanted to address. Sharif Addison just didn't look good to me at all. And I mean, Nolan Harvey didn't look good to me either. But a guy that did was Logan Snowden. And that will be the pick here. This is a small guy at 5'8". He has speed. He's a slot receiver. I think he makes up for what we had in Danny Amendola last season, even though we didn't get to use him. Now, Snowden out the slot is phenomenal. I really like what he could do. He's shifty, and then he could burn off linebackers since he's so small. Snowden's not going to be the guy that you want to throw it up to, but I like this pick. And here we go in the 6th round. I think this is time to take punter Noah Brown, and that will be exactly what we do. Noah Brown is a strong leg punter. I believe he has 96 kick power, which is insane. And Brown, I mean, he has the boot. And Noah Brown, he can also throw passes. Like, that is a absolute dime right there. As you see, that one, absolute boot. On this one, that one is a punt. And look at John Alexander using his speed to down it at the 1-yard line. And then here, that pass earlier to John Alexander, that was Noah Brown. He threw it on the money. And that will do it for the draft. And look at the other guys. Rex Stedman, we wanted him. He goes 1 pick earlier in the 2nd round to the Detroit Lions. He will be the starter there. Now, DESHAUN King, we also wanted him. He goes 5 picks earlier. We wanted him in the 3rd round. He goes in the 2nd round. And he will be on the Falcons. Rashard Brixton, he goes to the Bengals in a crowded cornerback room. But we're going to sign Joe Flacco here, Alex Arma, to 1-year contracts. We can cut these guys at any time. AGG. And I like what we're doing here in preseason free agency. We're going to sign undrafted free agent Jimmy Garland out of Wake Forest to a nice 1-year deal. We could cut any of these guys at any time if we needed to. Jimmy Graham, we're going to sign him. We wanted to sign him in the offseason, but this is just cheaper. And then we're going to sign Eric Harris to a nice little deal. Now, that will do it for the offseason. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. Shout out to Boomy for making the thumbnail. His YouTube channel and Discord server will be in the description along with my Discord server. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. We had a great offseason, and I'll see y'all next time.